are you?
Wow, everyone's been like spamming the chat room. Hey guys.
Oh. Did you refresh? What are they saying? I can't see it from mine. I just opened it. What?
Yuminos have been camping in this 2 hours ago. Wow.
What?
Well, I need to log in. I'm gonna. Hold on, guys.
Johnny, get your shit together. Ooh. Wholesale.
Alright. So, today we're gonna do a little something different. I might get to a crit or two, but we're gonna mess around and throw some ideas and just have a blast.
Johnny,
You know,
show them the monkey.
the monkey's here. Oh, bad. Bad.
Bad. Very bad. Oh man, our friends are here already.
So yeah, you guys are going hard today. Yeah, thanks for coming by. I'm just gonna warm up. So I'm gonna develop this character a little further. So basically, Ravon has a cast of 3, and as you've seen in like previous posts I've made, like the one, this one here, I'll link to it just in case anyone wants a better look. Basically, it's about 3 characters that go on an adventure together, and it starts with just the main character, Elrai, and then he meets up with the otter, who's he's a kind of like a fisherman slash boatsmith kind of person. So he like lives on the river a lot, and basically they start this friendship because Owlman has to get to somewhere in his journey, and along the way they meet the monkey as well. But it's just like these little instances and things that brings them together. But I basically wanted to do this story where most of it they're just going down this river, and then you've got like all this really cool landscape going by you slowly, and like the different times of day and lighting effects and stuff like that, and like really nice soundtrack and things like that. So I think I eventually want to do like a game thing out of it, but for now I'm just going to continue to develop the world and the characters a bit more. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they're all kind of inspired by like different cultures or places in the world that I'm really inspired by. So yeah. The Benny's in the litter box. The otter's inspired kind of more by like a Cossack from like Slavic history, which is something I'm pretty obsessive about. I like a lot of like the traditional clothing and music and stuff like that, and just that general aesthetic. But yeah. And then the monkey is kind of based more a little bit on like Indian mythology, because I spent like almost 4 years there as a kid, so it's got a lot of influence on me and how I like my taste and stuff. And the owl is more of like a Victorian influenced character, which is like very personal for me. Like that's stuff I really like. So I want to bring like these different influences together into a story and have them like these different kind of characteristics collide with each other in this story. And although I've been sitting on this idea for a while, I haven't done a ton of development for it, but I thought it'd be nice because it's still pretty fresh to talk about it and do parts of it in the streams. But yeah, I really like winged hussars. Actually, I wanna kind of put them in somehow. But most of this is going to be most of this story. Like maybe if I do sequels or stuff, most of the story initially is going to be set in a very like kind of a very naturalistic environment, like a lot of trees and forests and rivers and like stuff like that, like very very dense nature. So like the owl, for example, comes from like pretty like city life kind of upbringing, and he goes basically on this journey into the wild with the otter. Basically gets him as like a guide to take him down river, and then they meet up with the monkey eventually. I don't have names for the otter and the monkey yet. I'll get to that at some point. Not exactly sure when. But yeah, I was just thinking about more of because I really enjoy the aspect of going out on like a canoe or boat in the water for long periods of time and just like being out in nature. So a lot of it's inspired by that. You know, I used to go like fishing as a kid a lot, things like that. But yeah, I think if I was gonna turn it into a game, it would probably be like a low poly kind of adventure game with a bit of like a journey kind of feel to it, where it's like a lot of just like these really tranquil moments of just like going somewhere, not necessarily a lot of like narrative going on. So Frank is actually here too, even though he's just sketching around in his books. I'm not able to really get the
Yeah, I'm here.
fun.
I'm actually drawing along with Johnny because I'm trying to learn his 9 economy. I've been trying to do some development on my IP as well. Just kind of getting back in the habit of drawing and stuff that's off reference even, because sometimes we'll have to design things that fits a specific taste.
Yeah. And he's trolling. Yeah? So I think you were working on that for a bit, but then you kind of decided to like cool off on it for a while. That
Yeah,
IP.
well, I didn't want to cool off on it. I just got too busy,
Yeah.
and then there was for a long time just like hiatus. Like I
Yeah.
teased off a little bit of something. Sometimes I release things that's in our universe, but it's not like constant development of a story.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can, like, even when we're not working on the IP,
Mhm.
we'll always be thinking about it. Some
Yeah.
off time, like before you go to bed or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like a big luxury when we do get the time to work on it.
Yeah.
Like Johnny is using the stream time to work on IPs a bit. Is Benny starting
He's
at 9?
he always bugs me before, like he'll usually start, cause I feed him at 10, but he'll start bugging me sometimes around even like 7 or 8.
Wow.
So it's like, it's very trolly, but it's okay. It's okay.
Benny never bugs me. You know why? Because I don't feed him. Whoever feeds him gets bugged the most.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
Johnny's
James.
job.
I don't know. I feel like there's not enough stuff in video games where they just let the game kind of breathe a little. Like there's that negative space in between. There's always got to be something intense and crazy going on. And Journey just had like these really, really nice moments where you didn't really know like if something was going to happen or you were just going to continue. Like the pacing was really, really nice. It wasn't just in your face stuff happening all the time. There's this one scene in one of the Uncharteds that I really, really like, where you get lost in the desert and just for like a really long time you're just walking through this like landscape over sand dunes. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. They actually like tried to like something that could be like you could consider pretty boring, and a lot of people probably would, but like a lot of the time that kind of boredom comes from you just like not allowing your mind to just wander in those moments, you know. Like you always need something to pull your attention. But stimulation.
We need that sugar.
Yeah, we feel like we always need that. But if you can train yourself, I think storytelling helps with this. If you really care about the characters and what's going on, and you can like, or if you've had if you've like even just like been out in nature and things like that, that's what that kind of made me feel like. Like what sometimes Journey made me feel was like in those moments where there wasn't a lot happening, and it's just like very like these very like tranquil kind of moments. It reminds me a lot of like just that kind of feeling and atmosphere, which I really, really like. And I want to see more of that in game. They do it a bit in film, which is really nice.
I think that's like making the scene, making the environment tell the story.
Yeah.
And you kind of just immerse in it for a bit.
I do want to play Breath of the Wild, but I'm currently going through Nier right now, the new one. So once I finish that, maybe. So right now I'm doing a bit of a warm-up sketch, but I'm kind of thinking about a little bit about some kind of characteristics of this monkey that I can play with. Also, it's probably not. I'm trying to say is in the part of the story where the monkey meets up with the otter and the owl, like they're on a boat and they're going through this kind of like jungle type area with all these like big vines and like kind of like almost like feels kind of like a swamp a little bit. And this monkey is actually getting chased by like another tribe of monkeys, and I thought they would be like him, but they would be like much more scary, almost like kind of demonic looking. So their eyes would be like much more pronounced, and the eyebrows would be like very angry, and they would be like really big, and their faces would be a little more characteristic, like kind of mean looking. So I'm kind of playing with some of those ideas a little bit.
Demon monkeys.
Yeah, he's basically running from, and he manages to get to the boat, and they help him up, and he's all like bloody and bruised and stuff. And then they continue to make their way like along the river.
What did he do?
I don't know. It's just the part where like the characters meet each other.
Oh.
So I don't know if I necessarily have to even, because for me it's not more so much about like, oh, here's all this cool backstory and all this crazy lore that's going on. Yeah, I have like some lore and things like that, but for me the story is more about just being immersed in this world where things are just happening, like you're thrown into this into this sequence, right?
Maybe it's something that he did that was kind of embarrassing, but he wouldn't tell you. So
Maybe,
we're kind of just, as the audience, we just don't know. We're just guessing.
Yeah.
For the entire way through.
Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, one thing I really liked about games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls was they didn't like give you everything about the story. They left a lot to your imagination, and I really, really like it when stories do that. And I want to experiment that a bit more, not to the extent that Bloodborne and Dark Souls did, but in a way that like you don't get everything that you would like to know. You only get little bits of the picture that are enough to like keep the immersion going. Hey, Why are you trolling? Why are you trolling? Okay. Yeah, Zimmer has a lot of good stuff. Personally, for stuff like Game, Austin Wintory is probably my favorite right now. His stuff is just amazing. For this, I want to do a bit of a mix of that kind of flavor, but I also want to have stuff that's like a lot more old world and pagan feeling. So like a lot of like getting like some of that acoustic guitar Diablo vibe going throughout a lot of the story, and then a lot of like I don't know, it's not like pan flute, but it's pretty similar. It's like that kind of it's kind of hard to describe. If you guys know like instruments well, there's this thing called like a low D whistle that is used in like Nordic folk a lot, which is like a really nice sound to it that I really like. And then like a lot of throat kind of vocals and like drums and stuff like that, like acoustic things I would like a lot.
Johnny, have you heard the animated Ghost in the Shell movie soundtracks?
Are you talking about the standalone series or the film? Did someone ask?
Yeah, Jin. Innocence. There's that the second one, right?
I'm not sure which one Innocence is. I'm guessing yeah, but I probably wasn't paying much attention to it. I'll have to go and check it out again.
Some of them sound like really. I don't know what genre of music that is, but it's really kind of trippy.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's people screaming at you and stuff, but obviously it's like nice and chill.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I thought it'd be cool if they all had like kind of like glowing eyes, and then you just see them chasing him over like the treetops.
Like the angry monkeys.
Yeah. Like, so I'll make their faces like a lot more pronounced, bigger eyes. The hair like is more wild and crazy, like it flares all over the place. I thought it'd be cool if they have like, because the original design for the monkey is kind of inspired by like these holy men they have in India with these really long dreads that just like grow to forever lengths. So I'm thinking like these guys would kind of have them as well, but they wouldn't be the same. It would be like more just all over the place, like really like wispy. And they'd be like, make them hunch over and stuff like that. But yeah, usually I like doing just like little exploratory sketches, almost like kind of like little mood portraits and stuff. I like to do, one thing I like to do a lot, I like to do like a portrait, and then I'll scale this up a bit. Oops, too much. I like to do a portrait and then like do a character next to it just to get a feel for it, and then from there I'll start doing stuff like character variations for different things. Like for this original monkey you can see here, I did these like quick thumbs just to get like an idea. And for this painting here, I ended up doing a lot of preliminary studies, more like a old school kind of approach, and then I just painted this one like off the top of my head based on all the prelim studies I did. Try to get like a feel that was like very where I was just trying to push a lot of emotion into the painting and not use reference too heavily, because I think when you use reference too much in the actual process of the piece, it gets a little bit stiff. But that's just an opinion. It's not really like, you know. Hey Cruel, how's it going? Hey Black Wrestler, Joshua Tree.
The Joshua Tree.
No, it's the Joshua Tree.
Oh, man. Join the Talon Tree Garden.
Yeah. Actually, look, I'm gonna grab a quick reference of the monkey. This is actually based off a very particular type of monkey called the langur. They're considered like pretty almost like a deity in India, and they're really, really cool looking. But I'll pull one up into the thing just so I can get a bit of feel for like their posture, how they stand. And try to find one with like an interesting pose. I think they'll probably just end up being like hunched over. Ooh, one of teeth showing is going to be useful too. Oh shit. That's so cool. Okay. I want this one. And I want this one.
You can put it on the screen.
Most of them are sitting down.
You can bring it on the screen so they can see.
I'm gonna, I'll bring these ones on.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just copy it.
Wow, that looks like a human.
Yeah.
A really angry human. Yeah, Plug Wrestler, I watched the Destiny stream. That's for Destiny 2 reveal, right?
Are you seriously talking about Destiny right now, Black?
Yeah.
In my stream? Shameful. No, I'm kidding. Destiny looks cool. I would actually like play it if I like I wouldn't buy it, but like.
Exactly. I played the demo. I played the demo for the first one.
Basically Halo.
The Taken King. But I wouldn't pay for it.
I could definitely see how it would be like enjoyable.
It's fun.
I like the design. The design is cool. Oops.
I just prefer if it's not like a multiplayer RPG. I can't play those games anymore.
Okay, so I was like way off with my pose. I was trying to do something cool, but not as cool as what the reference gives me. No way. Bassmetis, the link to my brushes is actually in the Discord, but I'll post it here just because I'm nice. Just gotta jump onto my drive.
I can find it.
I'll get it. I'm almost there anyway.
Okay. Oh, Yumano, you played WoW for 9 years? That's an incredible amount of time to play a game.
I'll just post it here in the chat. What did he play for 9 years?
World of Warcraft.
Wow. That's
That's a long time to be invested in one game.
yeah, that's a bit much.
But I'm not judging.
Okay.
I think the only thing I played for that long might be SimCity. But it's not like constant time. You had to turn that monkey around.
Well, because I actually wanted to make him standing originally, but I figured it's okay to make him sit because, you know, I can.
So is this the monkey character you're painting, or is he the one of the baddies?
It's the baddie.
Cool.
So, like, you can see how, like, I based the image off, you know, they've got this cool hairdo going on. It's going to be like that, but except I'm going to flare stuff out a lot more. And so right now I'm just trying to get, like, some kind of gesture going on. I like that, like... kind of head tilt going on. I'm just going to really flare all this out. It's almost got like a kind of lion like ness to it a little bit. They're much larger than the main character. Man, I forgot how cool these monkeys were. Getting back to the reference, like, really just, they're so cool.
Johnny, I love your lines. They're so scribbly.
Yeah.
It's like gesture, huh?
Yeah.
Like the circle for the foot is just, it's amazing. Wow.
When I'm in doubt, I just draw, like, super basic shapes for shit, and then I'll go like more complex after.
Holy shit.
But I feel like most things can be broken down into like a few simple curves or marks. But yeah, whenever I'm placing things on the ground plane, I'll usually make like kind of like a cylinder shape and then just build off it. Get some of those dark accents in there. You can see how, like, with these monkeys, there's only that like little bit of the indication of the eyebrows, but like with my character and the other monkeys, I'm gonna really push that more because like why not? Like you can like take the things that you like and be like,
oh man,
you know, have fun with them. Like push.
I can't be the only one. I thought this was the eye, and then this was the nose, and that's the mouth. No, nobody saw that. Does nobody see it? Right? You know what I'm pointing? You know, it's the pointy thing to the left, that's the nose, and then the mouth underneath. Like, it's like a profile view of the monkey looking to the left. Ah, forget it.
It's alright. gonna play with a bit of values here, because why not?
Yuling,
Do what I want.
Yuling said, Frank, do more portrait drawing. You mean portrait as in like portrait of people? Or portrait as in like the canvas is vertical?
Yeah, it's very confusing.
It's so confusing. I don't know.
Man, painting opaquely after painting with a soft brush for a while is so nice. 'Cause it's like you pick color or you select a value and then that's what it is every time you place it. It's not, you know, oh, I gotta make 100 strokes to make this right.
Crazy.
And see, I can just push this like as far as I want it to go. Like I can do it, like, you know, you can do whatever you want. Like have fun with it.
You're a wild man.
Notice the really cool thing too is like on mine I had the hair covering the ears, but I think on his I'll push them out a little because I like that. It's actually going to be a little bit lower because his head's tilting upwards, so it's probably going to be down here. Well, now you know why I liked Interdevi Black, because it's very similar to like a lot of stuff that I grew up with.
Moist is in the chat.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Everyone hide. Hide your daughters.
What's going on, man?
And then this one here, this gray, I'm gonna use that to like hatch in this texture here. So a lot of times when I'm doing personal stuff like this, I don't use the workflow that I use when I'm doing character work or like industry kind of stuff, because I want to make discoveries while I'm doing IP work too. I want to figure out new ways to solve problems. I want to keep a lot of that energy in there, so that I can, like, even going back, I can remind myself like what it was that I'm originally trying to go for with this kind of project. Yeah.
Yo, Moisted. I tried to play that game. I didn't know it was a game. I thought it was an animation, but I couldn't make the guy dance. How do you make
Which
the guy
one?
dance? The guy was just doing this, like really like just swanky. But does he have moves, man?
It doesn't sound like he has moves.
But regardless, that was really cool. Oh, I have to press a number. And WASD. Oh my god. I literally just like spun the guy around and be like, fuck, how do I?
What is this?
I'm just bad at dancing. It was one of the thing Anthony Jones posted of his dancing robots.
Oh.
And you click
Did you see
into it.
Did you see like the VR thing he made? Where you jump in that little world and there's like these weird monsters and it's like really low lighting, and you just walk from like one light source to another. And
yeah, I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Man, which made me think, why are we even painting?
I hope he makes a game like that, like a really spooky kind of.
Yeah, it'll look really good.
There's one game that's kind of similar to that I'm actually really excited to play, although some of the design is a bit cheesy or generic, and it's basically like you go into hell. and you can like possess other people and like I don't know, do all these weird things. But that had a pretty cool vibe to it.
Yeah.
Forgot what it was called though.
I got a question from CP Cartoon Plant. We got getting a lot of plant-based
plant-based materials
here.
Yeah.
When you start a new drawing, what is your thought process? I find myself thinking too much about what's it gonna look like and what am I gonna draw. So if you have any tips on what you got tips on starting your piece, Johnny?
Well, you can spend time just like looking at the blank canvas and just being like, what am I going to draw? Or you can just start moving your pencil around and draw stuff.
Yeah.
Although that being said, it's kind of hard to sometimes try to like just draw something interesting from scratch. So you got to give yourself context and ideas to build off of. So right now with this monkey, you can see even though I had some ideas with the monkey, the first pose I drew in was pretty shitty, but once I pulled up reference, it was a lot easier for me to visualize what I wanted. So I would say grab references of things that are similar to what you want to draw and start it off as a study, but use the reference really, really loosely and embellish on it and make it something like either like more fantasy or sci-fi based to make something that you want to do. But honestly, you just got to draw. Like, just do it. It's not you especially if you haven't drawn for a while, you gotta warm up. You can't just expect to just start drawing something amazing off the bat. Like, your creativity needs to like you need to get that heartbeat going a little faster before you can really start to like get to the good ideas. So definitely having an idea of what you want to draw before you start, if that requires doing research or working on something specific, really helps. If you just want to just draw to be productive in that sense and you don't really have any good ideas, I would just draw like simple 3D geometry all over the place.
I got something to add to that. When you don't know what to draw, start with why. Start with why you're drawing and what do you want to communicate. So for me, if I'm drawing for a project, my thought process of starting something is entirely different from how I would start from a blank canvas. It's like I have to create something that's my own. So these two are completely different. And then if I'm creating an idea and I don't really know what I'm drawing, I kind of start by drawing small. Thumbnails for environments, poses for characters. I want to start it in the easiest way possible.
Yeah. Start small. Because
I can just say that the feeling of I don't know what to draw is like the default feeling of everybody.
Yeah.
So, but the work against that, you just have to start. The starting part is the most resistant,
mm-hmm.
right? So we're gonna make it easier for the process, just for our sake, right? We want to draw something, but I want to also make it a little bit easier, so I don't I don't have to fight against so much resistance. So you draw small, you draw loose.
Yeah.
You draw just like very freehand, very free. You don't want to think too hard about, oh, this has to be good, or oh, this has to be the thing that, I have to get this on first try. These are distractions that's actually going to make it more difficult for you. So my starting process, what I'm thinking is just, first of all, what am I drawing? And second, layer by layer, I'll just scribble until I get something that resembles what I'm thinking.
Nice. And if you're drawing something and you have an idea for something, and you draw that thing out, so you draw it like a character in a specific pose or with a costume on. If you're just starting drawing for the day, do that idea that you originally thought of, and then try to draw that thing all over again, but like better. And you're gonna actually see like a huge improvement between the first thing you drew and the second thing. It's pretty crazy.
That's really hard to do. Well, because nobody wants to do the thing it's done just
it's
over
hard
again.
It's hard to start doing it, but once you start doing it, it's actually very easy because you're already making a big improvement off the previous thing that you drew.
Yeah.
Like-
So what? You literally draw the same thing again?
Yeah, but like try to draw better. So maybe you change the pose a bit. Maybe you
Right. Okay. That
you
makes
know
sense.
you maybe are a little more bold with your value contrast. Like a lot
Yeah.
of things. It's
Yeah.
just like a really
So not the exact same picture, but the same
Yeah.
subject,
yeah
the same material.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's like doing thumbnails. Like you do lots of variations of the same thing to try to get to like a good idea. Because you need to get the bad ideas out first before you can get to the good ones.
Yeah. We got a great question coming in from Kuso-san.
Oh no, not Kuso again. This
How
guy's
do
a
you-
troll. I'm kidding. It's fine.
How do you create an IP?
You just do. Why are you guys asking me like questions you already know the answers to?
But how? How do you create an IP?
What? You start making stuff.
Start
You can
making
create
stuff?
an IP and not even. You can create an IP and have like
What?
nothing in it. Like,
It's literally like creating a new folder on your computer.
yeah, pretty much.
The moment you start thinking about it, oh, you know what would be
I-
cool if this was like that you've
Yeah.
created an IP and you own it. It's just that you have
Sometimes
to-
we've started stuff or ideas like here in Crush from all like one tiny little idea and then it just grew bigger. So usually the start of it is when you're actually like, okay, I had this cool idea and now I'm gonna actually take it further. That's you've already created something. Like that's all it takes. But it's really up to you how far you're gonna take it, and the more work you put into it, the better it's gonna get. But yeah, like it can be just one little starting point. Like for Ravon, originally I knew that like, okay, I wanted to do this owl and the otter character in a boat, and I wanted to do a game where you just travel down river and you can fish and you can fight people and do different things. And it's almost nothing. Like it was like in a day I was like, oh, I want to put these things into a thing because I like those ideas, and it could stay there and never become anything, or I can work on it and keep polishing it till it gets bigger and bigger, you know, and eventually I can make it into something. Cartoon Plant and Denzel, when you guys do that like super bright green, it's kind of hard to read your name. I have to like lean really close to the screen.
It's only on your laptop, on your computer.
On mine you can see it. Oh, it's not that bad on you.
Well, it's not super bad on here.
Okay, it's worse on mine.
Yeah.
Never mind. I got Frank here anyway, so should be good.
You can't read the Leon green on Denzel? Is Denzel just completely invisible to you?
I can read it, it's just not clear.
No, I mean in real life. If he like showed up, you just
The
like
neon green?
you just carry on with your business.
I'd be fine. It would be three-dimensional, you know, so I'd be able to like see indications of form. Alright. I figured I just should make my brush bigger and get like those shapes going. It's got like a really big beard. You know, 'cause why not? Beards are cool.
Geo M2 Art says, yeah, developing an IP is the easy part, but making it good and like profit it.
Because all you
off
need
of
is to
that.
start with one. It can be just one little idea, but making it into something and taking that IP into reality is what's difficult. Anyone
Right.
can make an IP.
Right, exactly.
Everyone has ideas. Doesn't mean it's a good IP or it's a good idea, but you can do it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Moises has another question. Does the Crush Visual team deal with a lot of 3D modeling?
In what way? Do you mean in client work or personal stuff? We do all model a little bit.
But like not hardcore modeling.
We're not like modelers. We're 2D people first, and then
Yeah.
we model as like a tool to make our efficiency go
Johnny
up.
models for the runway.
Yeah.
He doesn't model for like 3D.
Yeah. I put makeup on. I wear skimpy clothing.
Yeah,
And then
knee-high boots, you know, lacing.
Latex maybe. No,
stuff.
just kidding. Not
yeah.
latex.
Yeah, professional, right?
Yeah.
not to get the chat riled up about Johnny again. Johnny, runway queen.
Oh no. I'm just to preempt, any questions, I'm not gonna compete in RuPaul's Drag Race, just in case anyone's wondering. That's never gonna happen.
I was wondering.
Yeah, I know, it's like gonna kill off your hopes and dreams now before they birth into little babies that are out of control.
You're out of control.
Yeah, well,
And
it's art.
And your babies.
I don't have any babies, unless they're like metaphorical art babies.
They're metaphorical art babies.
Oh, okay. Does that mean I gotta feed them?
Yes, you gotta feed
Shit.
your art babies.
Yeah.
If you create something in your IP and you don't visit it every so often, it dies.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like everything else.
This is the thing too about IP stuff, guys. If it's an idea you're really passionate about and something that you really like and enjoy doing, working on that and putting time away for that and making that a priority is really good for you. Like it's like your secret weapon as an artist. Like it has a lot of value. Not to mention just the psychological value of it, but the.
You didn't get back to me. Right. So I think I'm just gonna sign it. Submit it.
I don't read it once over to see if there's anything here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like tomorrow morning. Yeah, sounds good.
You guys kinky. Talking about latex and shit.
I don't actually find reflective stuff that hard to paint. It has to feel reflective with hard edges and specularity. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, I feel like anything's difficult to do if you haven't done it a lot. Like, believe it or not, animals are actually in my comfort zone. I like drawing animals a little more than I like drawing humans, but I've drawn humans more, so humans are a little easier in some cases.
Wait. So animals your comfort zone.
Well,
But
like
humans are easier.
Well, like you could say humans are my comfort zone because I draw them more, but like when I was a kid, I was only drawing animals usually initially, and then I would draw some people here and there. I liked birds a lot as a kid, so I have a few bird drawings here and there kicking around.
So do you like drawing
But just
humans more?
I like drawing animals more. Because when I draw them, I feel like there's so much room to like make it interesting. Humans is the same thing, but there's just things that you can do with animals. Like if I'm using it in like a fantasy setting, like now, like it's so easy to be motivated to do it and just like push ideas out and have fun with it, I guess I could say. Like I love working on Ravon stuff. Like it probably makes me happier than anything else in terms of painting and drawing right now.
Yeah, I have a rekindled love with my IP.
Nice.
You would say that it's like an affair.
Do you think that old mech design has aged okay?
I think it needs to go beefier.
Yeah.
I think we went too literal with the insect parts, but I like it. I really like it. That's why I'm trying to do another version. Actually, yeah, let me show you this, Johnny. I haven't released this to anybody, but I recorded this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask your opinion on it, like what to do and stuff, but
Nice.
So if it looks good, I'll like release the video on one of the Talent Tree Gumroads,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll sit and chat a little bit more about IP development
Nice.
while this is like playing back.
Nice. It's a good idea. Yeah, the hair is looking cool. I like that subsurface scattering you got going on.
I
The
knew
only thing
it.
I would worry about is the color of the hair on the that's getting hit by cool light. You would need to hue shift it a little more.
Yeah.
But other than that, like
Yeah. Oh, like do cities and stuff.
Yumino's like, show.
You will see. You will see.
You guys will see.
Yeah, very soon.
Moista's asking, so Johnny and Frank, did you guys go to college or uni for art? Frank took, I think, an animation course at Sheridan. What was the name of the course you took?
Huh?
What was the name of the... Moista's asking about our schooling. You went to Sheridan for something, right?
Animation.
Animation, yeah. For me, it was basically Loomis. MG Loomis.
4 years of animation, not just any. Now, if I think about it, I can probably do with 2, and then go off and do my own thing. But still, I'm glad I stayed.
Hey, Lightning Cola. Glad to have
Like,
you.
our school is such a good environment to be in if you can afford it. Like, it's everybody there is trying to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about the 4 years part. It's kind of long.
Yeah, 4 years is crazy.
It's really crazy.
Well, it's crazy. What's crazy is like, I think it's good because you should always be learning. So I don't think the time spent is that long. But it's like you need to be in school for this much time, and then you're ready to go out into the world. But what if like, you know, you're good enough to like start working in the industry before that, and you have to try to balance freelance and school, and then you just go fucking crazy. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
Freelance and school,
Yeah.
not easy to balance. Oh, Nefties is here. What's up, Nefties? Always being nifty.
Hey, leave me alone.
People in the chat are screaming at me to show the piece.
Yeah, you're not gonna see it.
Oh man, I really should have some restraint.
Yeah, don't show them.
Yeah,
Fuck those guys.
no, I'd rather release it as a video for you guys. You'll see the whole process. Jin says, I think that if people were prepared to learn, anyone could do art school in 2 years. But a lot of time is spent whacking people into the right frame of mind. Whacking people into the right frame of
Yeah,
mind?
with a stick. Hey, you bad boy.
Oh, by the way,
Oh wait, that's different. That's not art.
yeah, so Johnny's homeschooled.
He's talking about like art training.
Yeah, you're homeschooled.
No, that's different.
Nah, you learn it by yourself.
Yeah, you just use. I guess you would just say self-taught. Even though I was fortunate to have really good resources on the internet and stuff like that.
Like what?
Well, like Loomis was everyone as easily accessed. Like if Loomis didn't exist, there would be like
More
maybe
bad
like
drawings
5
everywhere.
good artists in the world.
Like, yeah, like 5. Yeah.
That's the number I know exactly because I did the maths.
Like Loomis is personally responsible for hundreds of thousands of artists.
Yeah, and not necessarily like everyone keeps looking at his stuff all the time, but he was, his stuff is really easily accessible, so he like gave a lot of people like a nice little start into learning how to draw and paint, which I think was really great.
Yeah. Yeah, art school is great just for the community of it. Like being able to talk to people that like art, like the thing that you want to do is sometimes a luxury. Because if I'm learning art in isolation, it would take a lot longer. It's just because the information doesn't flow. Like somebody recommended me this book of this great American illustrator, Leyendecker, and I've never heard about him at the time. Well, now I have, but at the time, because I'm like fresh in school, I'm a newbie, I don't know anything. And then these people whispering some names over here. Oh, get this Henry Yang book. Oh, get this that book over there. And then suddenly it's information overload.
Yeah.
And we're not really sure which direction to go anymore. At least for me, when I was really young and learning art, it's like everything's so cool. All these people are so good. What am I doing?
Hey, Hilas paints. Nice. Hey, Zane Scarlet. Yeah, Land Decker's easily one of the best.
Hilla's Paints says hi. Hi, Hilla's Paints. Nefty is complaining about a cake.
Oh no.
apparently.
Again?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
You're not going to get any sympathy, Nefties.
I don't know what exactly went wrong, but
We're
it
all
seems
we're
like
all big cake fans.
some,
so we're just gonna be like, okay, cool.
some cream went bad or something.
Yeah. The milk's gone bad. You ever seen that Vine from?
No. Vine is dead.
Yeah. You know what? That's okay. In with the new, out with the old, as they say.
So these are the. How big are these monkeys? Like this monkey, how big is this monkey? Relative to a human.
I don't know because there's not like any humans in the story, but
Fuck. Really?
Yeah, they're all animals. But I thought it'd be cool to play with like different degrees of evolution. So like some of the animals are a lot more animalistic, and then some are like a lot like more evolved.
That's cool.
So it's basically like what would happen if animals evolved and humans kind of didn't, like if humans didn't ever become a thing.
Right. Why don't you have humans in like some humans there, but they're like super fucking weak, you know? They're like whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like prehistoric. Like,
I feel like it would kind of convolute the narrative a little.
What about Sasquatch?
What do you mean? Sasquatch? Yeah, well, like a monkey is already very human-like. We're basically the same, honestly. Like I mostly act like a monkey, so it's all good. But
kind of explains.
yeah. Like Frank will be like there sitting on his desk like reading, and then like I'll just run by him and hit him with a banana, and then keep going, or I just like throw poop at people. It's good. You guys should try it. This is the sound of disappointment.
This is the kind of shit that I have to deal with.
No regrets. No
Like, work
regrets.
is not even the bad part.
Jin, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that question. If I ever do side projects that are still for my IP, like, yeah, I don't know.
Stuff other than art.
No, stuff. Oh, stuff other than art? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe like writing or something?
Do you have any examples?
Cake sacrilege. There's a whole complaint train about the cake.
Yeah.
We should have.
We don't talk bad about cake in here.
We should have cake justice here, and I'll be the cake justice warrior.
Does that mean you get to try the cakes for make sure they have the right amount of justice?
It would be nice if I do.
Sounds good. I think you should go for it. I think it's your destiny.
we care about your cake here at Talent Tree, where you can have your cake and paint it too.
Oh no.
Blockbuster, that's great. We're gonna use this as our tagline
Yeah.
when we promote
Nefty is
Talent
just
Tree.
screaming obscenities.
Nefty, can you make us a cake that's like a tree? I think I think my bad art director thing is getting better.
What do you mean?
Like impression.
Oh, nice. Did you see that little thing Adobe did where it's like get your
Oh.
own model art director?
Yeah.
A little art director. I was
Is it
like,
for
wow. Probably not. This is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It, like if you have like a little like some guy wearing like I don't know like hipster glasses and
Wearing
a tight
stripes
shirt
or something.
or
Yeah.
something, and then he's just
Yeah.
like, you know,
Well,
occasionally he's like, make
really-
it pop.
Make a pop.
Can you make it more juicy?
Yeah. Is he holding this coffee cup too?
I don't know. But
Yeah, that makes
should
it.
be.
Well, can you do it? Can you make a pop, Johnny?
Like Pop Tropica,
Just do it.
like.
Give it about 10% more panache.
Can you give it? Yeah. Can you do like? Can you make it like more syrupy?
Yeah. Can you
I'm
make
actually
it more
having
like
really fun with these
defined?
lines for life. Lines gotta get that whoosh in there, you know.
Can you make it more whooshy?
Yeah. Can you make your lines have? Can you put like more muka in the line, please?
Okay, you know what? That's not even the worst art direction. The worst art direction is this one word that I hate the most, more than anything else
Yeah.
in art direction history.
What is it?
Epic.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
We need this piece to be epic.
Yeah. That's awful.
Yep. By the way, our budget is $200.
Although I would say the worst thing that we ever experienced was when one guy said etc etc. This and he's actually I think he said this and that and then he said etc etc and we're just like wait what? And what you realize is, after doing this kind of stuff a lot, you realize that most art direction, no matter what it is they're saying, they just like, oh, we want it to be better. And then you
Yeah.
got to figure out how to make
Yeah.
it better.
It's not their fault at all. Actually, we're not mad. It's
Yeah.
just
It's just funny.
working with clients is 50% deciphering the puzzle
Yeah, the
uh,
puzzle of their bad speech habits.
from their art direction or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of like make it actionable. That's our job.
Mm-hmm.
Bay him. What's bay him?
You want
They're-
more jazz?
if
What
they're
kind of
talking
jazz?
about,
Like smooth jazz, coffee table jazz, midnight jazz, chill vibe jazz.
Johnny Jazz.
Yeah, Johnny Jazz. My kind of jazz is like cowboy bebop. That's my go-to. Also, I really like Too Many Zoos. And recently a friend recommended me this band called Snarky Puppy, which is like, I think it's called that. I could be wrong. I really like them. They're cool. Yeah. I love that one track that kind of goes like, fuck, actually, never mind. I'm not going to do an impression of it. This is going to be embarrassing.
Wow. Wait, by the way, who posted the references to the Discord?
Somebody posted references?
No, it's just because they're fighting over it. So I want to stir the pot a little bit.
Wait, what are they fighting over? I'm not looking for a relationship, guys, so that's out the window. Just in case that's what you're fighting over.
Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about that.
Yeah, good.
What does that mean? Zang Scarlet Art. Too many zoos came to Toronto a couple
nice.
weeks ago. What
That
is
must
too
have
many
been cool.
zoos?
They're like street performers, I think,
Oh,
but they're really, really
like what?
good.
Like with monkeys?
No, it's like, I think there might be a few more of them. But originally, I saw a video with just two guys. He's a guy that plays a baritone sax, and the other guy plays like a drum with a cowbell. And it's like really, really fast paced, like high tempo, kind of jazzy funk, kind of, yeah. It gave me a bit of a Cowboy Bebop vibe originally, so I was like, yeah.
The fur on this monkey looks pretty cool. Like it feels like they could almost flare and
Yeah. I thought it'd be really cool if a lot of it was like almost like a mane, like a lion's mane, and
Yeah.
then so like when they run and jump around, it's like,
like
you know,
whooshy,
like, yeah.
you know, like you see them jumping around trees.
yeah. So like you'd be really scared, but it'd be like really majestic.
Yeah, it almost take like really weird shapes of its own.
Yeah.
Like the Nims, you just see the claws coming at you,
Mhm.
but it's like the monkey is shape shifting.
Uh-huh.
Drumming again.
Yeah, that sax player is a beast. He like spins around in circles while he's playing. It's like, what? What a troll.
Tinton Robot asks, where are we located? We're in Toronto. Crush Studio and Talent Tree are in Toronto. I'm not from Russia.
Hey, you don't tell lies.
But maybe we are, who knows?
Frank is seriously
Maybe we're Russian
like-
spies.
Yeah, Russian
Ooh.
spies.
Watch out for that.
Yeah.
Watch out for the NSA and the CIA.
The best, I love the best. My favorite thing is when people like start getting paranoid about shit like that, like as if they're important enough to like draw attention. Like, it's funny. Times are changing, guys. Dystopian future ahead. Gotta learn how to, you know, do things like swimming and how to build a fire.
You already sent it, right?
No, I didn't say. No. They say this needs more. It's more signature. Because this is the bad one.
Okay.
I got a good one ready, but I'm just waiting for everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in Toronto, but in my head, I'm basically always in the Fey world. Yeah, exactly. You take your cookie recipes. How dare they? think generally the main point of gathering data like that is more like to get generalizations of things. It's easy to like, yeah. Obviously marketing is a really big part of that. I wonder if eventually in the future it'll get to the point where it gets so bad you're just gonna have like ad-free zones in the world. Like that'd be pretty cool. Like you could just go somewhere and like not see anything. Probably never gonna happen. Like I guess the best way to get away from all that, like, because I don't think you should always be saturated with things like that, is like just to go out in nature and stuff. But yeah, there's this pretty cool movie I watched. I don't remember what it was called, but it's this guy that like goes out into like this weird place, and then he has like some weird kind of like spiritual revelation, and then he can see all the he almost sees like the effect of marketing as like these hovering demons over people. So like really, really big corporations have these big giant monsters like floating over them, but then people that are also getting affected by stuff have like this stuff floating on them. And then he like develops this scheme so that they all like self-cannibalize and destroy each other. It's kind of interesting. A little bit trippy though. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, exactly. Like imagine like at some point you won't even be able to be like, oh, I'm just not gonna look at my cell phone. You're gonna be like walking, and then like there's gonna be like a fucking like sign in your face, or something like, or if you have like say like augments, you're living in like an augmented reality where like it's everything's how it would be, but then we have like these viewing and hearing aids, and then to use the aids like these hearing and viewing aids for free, you would basically have to listen or see an ad every like 30 minutes or so. That would be fucking terrible. I don't know if it'll ever get that bad. You guys, yeah, Black Mirror has a lot of that kind of stuff. Alright, let's have a look. What's going on here? I'm gonna go back and work on this other guy a bit more. Push some of these values. So one thing, if you guys are kind of curious about, is how I go about creating stories for my IP stuff. Usually what it is it's just like, it's like as if you had like material, different patches of material, and you basically sew them all together to make like a jacket, or like individual puzzle pieces. And then sometimes you'll find ways to connect two puzzle pieces together, but they'll still be separate from other separate ones. And then you basically just find ways to bridge all these things together into a timeline. So I usually start with like, with this story, for example, I have like 4 or 5 different glimpses into the story or into the narrative, almost like a scene from a film or something, or a game, that are all in different places along the timeline, and I'm just trying to figure out how to piece them together. It's like I know how it starts, I don't know how it ends, but I know there's like all these little scenes in between, and so I'm like, okay, how do I get from point A to point B? That's kind of like my process right now. It's a little bit abstract and janky, but I like it. Like I like keeping it kind of organic. Depends. I've sat for really long hours on some pieces just because I would like if you have like a bunch of food that's already ready, like if you have all your snacks and drinks around you and like several of them, you can sit there and just paint endlessly for like 10 hours in a row. And then you probably like stretch occasionally or something. I actually pull up some reference again because I want to get a little bit. Where'd it go? Oh, it's here. Okay, never mind. Yeah, what a mind. Oops. I want to have this guy kind of nearby, just to give me a little help with the facial structure. Asking who abducted Frank. And I really like the features on these kind of monkeys. They're really fun to play with. Oh, cats are wonderful, Nefties. Get out of here. Talking bad about cake, talking bad about cats. I don't know, man. It's not a good way to go. Yeah, cats can be pretty mean. I find like their personalities are pretty strong, so like you can get ones that are just more grumpy and nasty. Like I've seen and been around a few cats that are pretty mean. Fortunately, Benicio is like super sweet. Like every cat, there's no such thing as a cat that will like that I've seen. Like there probably is like some that exist, but like I think most cats will Like if you're petting them for too long or they're just liking something, they'll give you like a little bite. But even then, like it's more of with Benny, it's more of a playful thing. But then there's definitely like a lot of cats that will just be like, no, fuck you, I'm taking off your hand.
I haven't met a cat that doesn't bite yet.
I think originally that's what actually scared me about cats as a kid. Like not scared, but I always like dogs better, because dogs, like you'd be like no, and then be like, oh shit, you know.
No,
I fucked
dogs
up.
don't know. No, they just.
Yeah, they do.
They like you so much though. That they just, you know.
No, dogs get really they get crushed when they feel like they fucked up.
They're high energy as hell.
Yeah, but like if a dog is well trained and like they know they fucked up, they'll usually like put their head between their nose and like.
Yeah.
Anyway, they want to be good boys, you know. But yeah, so and I like dogs a lot too, but I think after we got Benny, I really understood like the whole cat thing, because he's so cool. Like he's a bit of, like they can be assholes sometimes, but it's worth. Cats are like the Dark Souls of pets. No, you're not playing on easy mode. What do you guys think so far on the monkey? Any suggestions?
Picture tremendous. Dampest tuba.
I don't know, honestly. I just like to make stuff that kind of follows around the form, but I really like to elongate my lines. If you look at like the monkey sitting on the right, you can see like I tried to use like lines going down the length of the form, but they still kind of wrap around a little bit. Gustav Klimt did this kind of stuff a lot, so I'm like a really big fan of him, if you can't tell. Yeah, and then there's other types where you can wrap around like horizontally and stuff like that. I would just do it a lot, honestly, and try to not do it too quickly. I think hatching looks honestly a little worse when it's done fast. I think if you can get like really, really clean looking kind of old school looking hatching, if you slow down and keep your lines pretty close together, you can get like these really nice even spaces in between where you're just like following the form like this, almost like thinking about keeping your hatching gestural is I think that helps. And then when you want to show line weight, you'll have a bunch of hatching going like this down the form, and then when you want to have like a form that's turning, you know, getting overlap, see like in this little corner here, I just bring the lines closer together, and then it feels like there's like a fold going in or something like that. And then if I want to, I can put a little value shift in there like that, see? So like I am thinking about, you know, the forms and the lighting and stuff like that. It's not just you know, wrapping lines to make them feel like they're going around the form. It's wrapping lines around, but placing them like darker and lighter lines in places where, you know, there's light and shadow. I think that's a pretty interesting way of going about it. I like to kind of draw like as if I was painting. And so if I was painting it, I would be doing the same thing, just with a really big brush. I feel like hatching like this though gives it a lot of energy, which I really enjoy. He's actually got like some pretty long eyebrows going on, so I'm gonna like accentuate that a little bit. I feel like though when it comes to like hatching and how I draw and paint, I don't really have a way that I could say is like how I paint and draw. I'm kind of mixing it up, the approach, every time I paint. I'm just kind of trying to get shapes that I like and play with values in ways that like make things kind of interesting. And I think what that comes from, like being able to do that in a way that is enjoyable and like doesn't cause too much stretch, is understanding the geometry of what it is you're actually drawing and how those forms react to light. I've done a little bit, not really traditional painting, if that's what you're talking about. I'm gonna fill up on some water. Be right back. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing pretty good.
I feel I'm going for some coffee, but if I drink coffee, I'm never gonna sleep.
It's not really a problem for you.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe I'll have some after and go for a walk because the weather's starting to cool down. It was like 28 degrees today. What the fuck? It was like 10 degrees last week. I was wearing my poncho last week, like my wool poncho.
You would complain about this? You would not.
It's too much for me. I'm not dressed for summer yet. I went outside today and I like walked on the side of the street that didn't have shadow, and I was gonna cross into the street that was cast shadow, and that whole time I was like, oh my god, I'm dying.
You're just a vampire.
It's terrible. No one should ever go through that torture. I'm kidding, it's not that bad. Yeah, Cali is I assume is way hotter. But Toronto, like for some reason, even though it's not super hot, it feels really hot. Especially in July. It's like a little bit stifling, but it's only for a couple months, so it's not bad. And then for like 5 months, it's really cold. But we had a really nice, April was really nice. May so far has been pretty good until now. I'm not a shorts person. I hate shorts. I like pants. I wear leggings a lot too, and those are kind of warm, so. For me, like 15 degrees is a perfect day. But if I want to do like long coats and scarves and all that kind of stuff, 10 degrees is nice. Yeah, fall is great. You know, you're not old enough because guys were wearing leggings before it was cool. And high heels. And knee-high boots. And colorful things like pink and lace and makeup. So yeah, get with the program. I'm just trolling you. Yeah, whoever decided that like certain things in clothing are feminine and then assigning other things to be more masculine, like fuck that guy. Someone posted this funny thing. I saw once like a meme where they were like, it was like a heterosexual fashion show, and it was a bunch of like middle-aged dudes wearing like white t-shirts and blue jeans and like shitty runners. It's funny. I do think though, like a lot of fashion and clothing ends up being pretty bad. I think like the good stuff is pretty rare, and we don't have McQueen around anymore, so it suffered a little. Should have drawn on the wrong wire. Oh well. GG. I'll just let's do this out. Merge these. Yeah. Yeah, you get weird stares and looks now because the way, you know, the way things have evolved to be, there's a lot of like weird social structure in place. But, you know, ideally, you know, I think it's getting better. Yulin, I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you talking about like anatomy? Like, it depends what kind of lighting you're painting in. If you're painting in ambient occlusion, yeah, it is ambient occlusion. If you're painting in direct light, it's direct light. The reason, Yumino, the reason why Gothic outfits look bad is because they're just bad in general, and they're not, like, modern Gothic is super, super gnarly. Like, it's pretty terrible. And it's because the people that dress like that, it's more of like an attitude mixed with a look kind of thing, but they don't really understand design and what like makes things look good. So it just ends up looking like, you know, very bit of an eyesore, like a lot of like bad colors and bad designs and things. Like they'll be like, oh, let's, you know, this Gothic thing is supposed to be lacy, or this thing is supposed to be black, and this thing. So they just put all these things together, and they just keep on overlapping them and pushing all these things into a little bundle, and then they throw it at you like, this is goth, and you're just like, fuck, you know, like it's pretty terrible. They not a lot of subtlety going on there. A lot of bad design choices. There's good ones. They're just hard to find. That's, for me, I struggle with that because the stuff that I actually, when I think like about Gothic stuff, I identify it as the stuff from particular time periods. Architecture obviously is a big part of that, but those kind of design patterns from like Gothic architecture in Europe and like Victorian kind of era clothing and stuff like that. But I feel like that's kind of ignored. And what made that stuff good originally is ignored. A lot of those shapes and things. Some of them you can see are still present today because they're just such good designs, like the suit jacket and slacks and the three-piece suit. Those are originally from Victorian era, and that's why they work so well, because they're just good design. So that's a lot of that kind of thinking goes out the window with modern Gothic, which is really frustrating. It's a lot of people, I think, getting into it and like buying stuff that like I think the fans kind of reinforced that, because they would just buy things that they thought like was part of their identity without really having like any developed tastes on the subject matter, which is kind of annoying. But that, I don't know, I think that kind of goes for everything. Thanks for the follow, Moretta. Welcome. We're almost at 600. Let's check really quickly on Facebook, see if there's any questions. Oh no. I got trolled really hard on Facebook. Oh my god. Someone, I don't know, posted a link on the Facebook video, and they were like, not sure if I should be posting this in here, but I remember that you like Creed, and it's a live video of a Creed performance. Oh shit. Troll level is too high. Oh my god. Okay, well played, whoever you are. That was funny.
That was live, right?
Well, I don't know if it was live at the time, but it was like a live video from a live performance. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Interesting.
That's. You want me to play it? Well, you guys can check it out. It's on the Facebook video. But yeah. Wow. High level trolling right there. I would have expected someone like Drive By Uppercut or like Paint Plague to do something like that. But it looks like you guys got beat into it. With arms wide open. That's funny. Yeah, apparently the singer for Creed, Scott Stapp, he formed a new band and still continues to make bad music to the enjoyment of many. You know, it's all good. You know, at least if he's enjoying himself, you know, he can keep doing that. I ain't mad. It's good for the laughs. Yeah, that's the weird thing about modern Gothic culture. They just took a lot of things that weren't Gothic and called them Gothic. It's like they took like stuff from like Gothic and metalhead culture and was like, oh yeah, this is goth now. It's like, okay, that's what it is, I guess. Like the spikes are, that ain't right. That's no good. It's all about those tailcoats, though. I love tailcoats. So what do you guys think? Do you want me to keep working on this, or should I get to a crate? I think there's only one today. Kind of enjoying this. So one thing that's really cool about hatching like this is that you can actually go back over the lines that you've already hatched and add form to it. So like I put all these lines in here, but I can go and like pick this color here, pick this value along the edges. Actually, that's too dark. But anyways, I can find something that's a little bit darker, and I can just go along like half or a third length of that hatch that I already made, and just push a few more directional lines on there to make like the light fall off, even like down here at the bottom of the beard. You can see I can just like almost like I'm you know, making a little bit of shadow variation to feel like the form is turning away from the light.
Hey, Drive Uppercut. How's it going? I was just talking about you two. You guys see the trolling on Facebook? Pixel Plague, did you see? I really hope you were here when I was talking about that. Someone left a Creed video on the Facebook, because we stream to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And people sometimes have questions on Facebook as well. But yeah, pretty much someone left a Creed video on the Facebook feed. And then, you know, Denzel was like, with arms wide open. And then we all, you know, felt the love of Jesus wash over us. And we drank our soda pops together with our Doritos. Basically just having a whale of a time over here.
I'm not kidnapped. I'm just got like surprise contracts.
Yeah.
Surprise.
We've been
work.
getting really busy. Like this time of the year is pretty typical, I think.
It's like, wait, can I have this in an hour?
Oh man. Yeah. because you know you can never have enough of Scott Stapp.
Yeah.
Long term, now I want to make Ravon into a game, or an animation. That's probably the simplest. I have a lot of long term goals, but that's like probably my driving force recently. I have a few different IPs going, but right now Ravon is like the most personal for me. So I'm gonna push that. Oh, thanks, Tintin. I don't know, man. You know, I just want to do cool stuff, and I want to see people do cool stuff. Like, stuff that's personal to them, and that's like, I want to see more of like where people are just doing stuff that they really like to do. That's like very, very personal to, or inspired by things that are personal to them, where they're just like really expressing themselves through this creative medium. I wish that would happen a lot more, because that stuff is really, really fun to watch, see, and is inspiring. Like, makes me want to do my own stuff more. So I hope you guys plan, like, if that's your thing. Everyone's trying to do different stuff. I think if that's not your driving force, that's okay. Like, it's, everyone has different likes, and some people want to, work in a good studio and have that kind of security, which is great. But I think for me, the stuff that really gets me going is the idea that I can eventually go full time on working on my personal stuff and just producing stories that like people like, but not, like stuff that's fresh because it's comes from a personal place, not just like any ideas that I'm gonna come up with are gonna be inspired by other ideas. So there's never gonna be like this like huge originality. It's like people have done stories of animals before, but they haven't done it in the way that I'm planning to. And I'm not saying that's like a really special thing. Maybe no one's gonna like it, but I'm gonna still try because I love doing it, and a lot of it I'm doing it for myself, honestly. Big inspiration of mine is definitely James Zapata's Moon and Crow. That kind of vibe I really, really like. Super, super juicy stuff going on there. I want to see more stuff like that. And like being like interested in this kind of 2D kind of stuff, being like, if you're an artist or a designer and you can create these kind of things, you can basically create these entire worlds just of drawings and paintings and narratives. It's of course it's like good to learn other things, like a bit of writing and a bit of understanding how to like world build and stuff like that, but you can get started just by like creating moments in time with like these images or narratives. Do mood paintings, do character designs, all these kind of things. But the more research you do, and the more you develop the fundamental skill sets, and the more you take in like life experiences and connect with people around you, the better and richer your ideas are gonna be. So I think the lifestyle is important too. So make sure you're intaking a lot of visual information and inspiration as well as outputting. Try to figure out a way to balance those two. Slouching too much. Yeah, visual library is really important. Yeah, it's unfortunate there's not a lot of people around that you can connect with. But at least the internet makes it a little easier. And there's no reason why you can't start doing your own development yourself. Even if it's just drawing pictures of things. Like, I don't think it's something everyone has to do, but it's if IP development is something you really want to do, like if you're very passionate about that, you need to start doing a lot of it if you're not. Because there's never going to be a good time to start doing it. He's a little baby.
The baby.
What time is it now? Oh, I gotta feed him.
Hungry?
He knows exactly what's going
Hungry?
on. Just jumping off Joe's lap.
Not just like that.
Yeah. It's like, food? I'm gone.
Life's a little bit late. It's probably feeling like he's getting trolled. Thanks, Denzel. It's a cookie.
never had a more pleasant day. Oh, jeez. You guys doing okay in there? I'm gonna get back to this in a sec. Make sure my phone's charging. Alright. We are almost at the 11 o'clock mark. I've been kind of going a little bit slow with this. Not speed demon it, because I want to just kind of enjoying it. Seeing where it goes. Yeah, at some point I need to just be like, okay, move on. Because it's more about just the ideation than it is about the rendering approach. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with that overall. So, See, I like this. If you've like seen like a lot of my stuff in the past on my page,
I really like doing this kind of thing, just to like get a feel for stuff originally, and then from there I'll go into try different things. But yeah, just have fun with it. Sometimes I do, but I'll definitely listen to stuff that's not too intrusive. It's got to be very pretty chill overall. For personal work like this, one of my go-tos is definitely Wardruna, and then like ambient music as well, and stuff like Nebelong Valley I like a lot. Oh, don't worry about the cake, Nefties. You should probably take some breaks in between, so you don't get like all caked out.
What are the next steps for the council? So they will contact you and for the list.
Yeah, well, it's bullshit, I guarantee you.
So I'm gonna move on to the crit for now, and then maybe we'll come back to another thing. But let's see. I'm gonna save this. Demon monkey. Do you guys want to see some of my early roughs for some of the other characters before I move on to the crit? Can go through some stuff. It's not a lot. Just a few sketches. So I have a lot of there's a lot of really old stuff too, but a lot of yeah, a lot of early traditional sketches, and then a lot of like some random ones. So this is one that I'm not really using anymore, or if I do, it's going to be a different character, because Elride's not a horned owl. He's actually based off a burrowing owl. And then just like playing around with designs for stuff. This was a human, but I want to reuse some of this idea, like the bird kind of helmet for stuff. And then I had like old, very, very old, like at least 3 years ago or more, of old like ink sketches, stuff like that. Like first look at like character design, which I don't like this anymore. It's too anthro for me, so like I'm moving away from that. And like yeah, old shitty sketches, and then like some story moments sometimes I would get into doing. That'd be really cool to have like this big courtroom scene where you have all the like the almost like with where you have all those like judges and jury people where they got like the big wigs on, but they're all like warthogs or pigs. It was like early explorations. This is before I knew like that I wanted Ravon to be a thing. I would just draw like animals and costumes and stuff. Like you have like a bearded dragon, lizard, and just different stuff like that. This is probably the first sketch I ever did for Ravon originally. It's a hyena. I'm not so sure if I'm going to use them in the story still or not, but we'll see. Like, yeah. Old studies. I really, really like hares and rabbits, so I'm going to definitely use them in the story. But like with the monkey and the owl and the otter, I'm going to accentuate things to make them more characteristic. So I like flaring out like fur and whiskers and different things that that would be a little more stylized than you would see in reality. So someone mentioned wing huskars in the thing. So this is actually based off a huskar design. So I was like using it as a study, but combining refs. So both of the first two sketches are a study, and then I did an imaginative one based off the reference, combining the two. So doing stuff like that really actually helps to improve your visual library. So I would recommend it. This is a character that's going to be in there too. It's a Fennec, who's like a swordsman as well. And I did some roughs for this character as well, which should be coming up soon. Another owl character. They're based off the snowy owl design, but the feathering is not the same. Like the color's not the same, but the facial structure is the same as the snow owl. Because I like how the little beak just like pokes out from the feathers. Hey, Jay Weston. But yeah. And then the monkey original thumbnails that I did for him. Keeping them very rough, just thinking about basic value overlap and read. Like I want the designs to be able to kind of speak for themselves for a distance. Original otter designs, he's based off a Cossack, so he's got a saber and the same kind of jacket and shirt patterns and stuff. And I tried one with like the typical Cossack hair. I actually have like a thing here for reference that I got from my grandma, but like you can see how like the style was a lot. So they have this like really interesting, I really like this kind of shirt with that kind of pattern, and then like the sash, and then he's got the saber here, but there's no crossguard on this one, so I might change it to something like that. And then like the pipe and the musket and stuff like that. But like I really like the hairstyle and the mustache, so I kind of brought the mustache back, but I didn't do the hair thing. But I think I'll have it on other otter designs, which should be cool. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a lot of the times when I'm building these kind of characters, or thinking about things and how to make these characters work in the world and make them believable and immersive, I'm taking things from like things in the world and different time periods and different kinds of peoples and stuff, and I'm mixing them with like animalistic properties. So like the otters are going to be like more Cossack-like, so there's going to be other ones, but because otters are water animals, they're also like a race of otters that they all like spend their time on boats in the water and stuff like that. So there'll be like an otter town that's like a floating market that you can go through and like buy items and stuff like that. And you'll see different kinds. You'll see really, really old ones, like otters with like long droopy beards and mustaches, and you'll see young ones with like the hair and things like that, and like weird kinds of pipes, different kinds of craftsmen and stuff like that. Like some really cool things. Thanks for the follow, Usurper Tungsten. And you guys go all out with your names sometimes. This was the original costume ideas that I had for the owl, but I changed to something a little more simplified. So I was just playing with like some different variations and stuff. But I originally, after a while, I realized these didn't really suit the character that well. But a lot of some of these kind of early ideas, I can go back and reuse for other characters. So there's a few other like bird characters in the story as well. There's one that's like a great horned owl. There's a harpy eagle that wields Zweihander, which should be pretty cool. Some of the hyena designs, and this was the fennec that you saw in the other image. So I thought they would be more like a traditional looking kind of swordsman, getting a little bit of Witcher vibes in there. You know, Gambison, maybe Gorget and Gauntlet, nothing too crazy, so that they have like a lot of mobility, which I thought would be pretty cool. And then I had like the series of portraits, and then I have, you know, like references that I would pull up. Originally I wanted Elrai to actually be an archer, so I'm still not really sure on that Yeah, this is an IP I'm working on called Ravon. I'll link you the original, like my debut kind of image that I made for the IP, which is still probably my favorite thing that I've done to date. Hold on, I'll just link it here in the chat. And it has like there's not like a lot of descriptions, but it's like, honestly, I don't know. I kind of like how it sounds. So I was like, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a dark. It's kind of like a dark satire, I guess you'd say. And they go through like woodlands and stuff, but it's almost all the story is on this little boat that the otter navigates. Yeah. And then prelim studies that I do for the characters. Before I did these portraits, I did like a bunch of really quick sketches, just to try to get a feel for things, keeping it pretty loose. And then after I did prelims, I would go and paint the character from imagination to try to keep it like pretty interesting. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, otters are amazing. All right, so this one is came in from Tony. I think I'm gonna just create a new portion here. Cut this off. So from a thumbnail stage, if we look at this, like in terms of value read, the silhouette's working okay because the background is really, really light, but there's a lot of kind of value shifts that are going on that I'm not really sure about. Like I can't tell really what the local values are in some places because of the way the light and shadow was worked out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go over with something similar, but I'm going to use the background to silhouette that lighting a little better because you have a lot of lost edges here that could work, but you should have more interest in your focal points. So for like the face, for example, there's not a lot of contrast going on there. So we're gonna work on a few things. Yo,
I'm back.
Frank is back, guys.
Super speed.
Yeah. Do you want to see the?
I just got a contract and finished the contract in the time that I was gone.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Because that's how it goes.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull two different.
So the light's coming from the right, right? But
Yeah.
it's not like it's kind of like a direct light.
I'm not sure where this pink is coming from. I think pink is cool though.
Pink is cool, but it wouldn't really come down like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put that in the gradient anyway, just for fun, because we're gonna see if we can make it work. I don't know if it's gonna, but
Also, the ground is not going up to meet the horizon line. So
Yeah.
if the horizon line is that low, we actually be looking up on this chick.
yeah.
Just your character is okay being like this, but your environment isn't 3D. Like your environment doesn't lead back properly. I think Johnny's gonna do a little bit of something that's gonna fix that. Oh, you're doing that thing where you reconstruct it?
Yeah.
Ha, sweet.
It's fun.
This is gonna be really good.
Fun times.
Wait, you don't
This
get the...
so a few things about color too. Some of these colors, they don't feel like they sit in the environment very well. You did add like a bit of atmosphere
Mhm.
to the cat here, but I feel like some of these things like the yellow and stuff like that need a little bit of work. So even just the original colors, when you go into place them in an environment, if you look at how saturated this is compared to the world it's around, try to find something that's like closer to this. If it's a little difficult, but like if you look at a lot of the saturation here, this environment's pretty desaturated overall. So I would go back in and pull something around here a little more.
Yeah.
So it'll still feel saturated because,
Yeah.
wow, what's going on?
So everything goes by comparison. If all of your scene is desaturated and suddenly you put something just a slightly bit more saturated, that's
Yeah.
just gonna help it, like make it contrasty.
Yeah.
So what do you do at this stage? Do you silhouette it or do you line art?
I'm gonna silhouette it just because of,
Save time?
yeah, and maybe it won't even end up saving me time, but I'll do it anyway. I think these values are too close together, so I'm gonna have to go lighter on that because I'm painting in the local, but it's like a shadow value right now.
I'm just really curious how you're gonna pull this off, because this is like a complex shape in a complex like color scheme.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of cools in the back, but you get a lot of warms on the character. So maybe you can push that.
Yeah.
But the lighting in the back, that hazy blue, is looking really surreal.
Yeah.
Like it.
I like that,
wouldn't-
so I want to keep it.
I wouldn't expect to see this out in real sunlight.
That red is really red.
Gotta tune that down. So right now you're just doing flat local values,
Yeah.
without thinking about where's light hitting. You know what's
No,
the
but I'm
light,
keeping
the
them a
shadow
little
value.
darker. These are closer to shadow values because I want get the silhouette to read, and then
Yeah.
I'll start throwing like lighting in and stuff. And I'm not gonna make it perfectly accurate to in terms of the shapes and the proportions and stuff, because what I want to do is address value and color with this.
Mm.
So what I'm going to do to make it simple, I'm going to keep certain colors, I'm going to group colors together. So like this yellow and these boots, I'm going to group them into the same value range. So I'm making the boots a little lighter, but I'm making the knee pads darker so that we get like some more interesting contrast going on. And then like this backpack, I'm going to make it the darker shape as well. And then we can add like little accents and things like that later. And Nacho says, "Hi Frank," with the banana.
Well, today is monkey.
Yeah, today's monkey day. All we're doing is monkey business. That's all we're good for.
Yep.
So those shorts are like really short. Best kind of shorts. I feel like she'd have like some kind of like be a little more like she'd have like a belt that like gets attached to that, because this is like super, yeah, I don't know. I like how there's that little silhouette break just in there, so I'm going to bring a little bit of that back. I'm going to stick to primitive shapes for this. I'm not going to go into detail. So like like if I was going to more of a finish, I would cut away at things a lot more. But like for example, her face, I'm just going to keep it like a round lump. And then I'm going to see how the other stuff looks after. I'm not really sure why she'd have like pointy boots if she's working outdoors. I think they'd be more like work boots or army type boots. Like a little more practical, thick soles. Otherwise, it's just, you know, not yeah, I don't know. So already, I think like the silhouette's looking a little better. I don't know what you guys think. I'm gonna get some of those thunder thighs going. So I'm a fan. Muscle is good. I want to silhouette her face a little more, so I'm actually gonna color pick this brownish color, and I'm gonna make it darker and slightly less saturated. And I'm gonna use that for the hair shapes. And then the headphones, I'm gonna bring that blue back in there. I'm gonna make them big, and I'm gonna make them go over the hat. So I make them a little more like earmuffs. So because of the horizon line, we're not actually going to see the top of this hat unless they're tilting, you know. Like if I'm standing like this and you were looking from below, like if I was up here, you wouldn't see the top of the hat even if I was like, the horizon line was eye level. For you to see it, I would have to be tilting over like this. So from a low horizon line, it's actually gonna feel like you're kind of tilting more the other way. So you're gonna see underneath those planes. So just keep that in mind. Because this is a relatively thin surface, we can cheat in some subsurface scattering, just for the hell of it. So let's see. Push that saturation up. Push a little bit a little darker value initially.
How did you find the skin tone?
Huh? I just picked from the shadow here and then made it like a little lighter.
Is it not cheating?
No?
Is it more saturated?
Huh? I don't know. I just put it down and it looked good. If it didn't look like how I wanted, I would have just selected a different color.
So you guys just try it a few times until it looks good, eh?
Yeah. So because I'm feeling like this is cool light, I'm actually gonna go slightly more saturated and warmer in the shadow.
Yeah, headphones over the hat.
I just think it makes the silhouette look nicer.
Who would have thought? Yeah, why would you wear a hat over your headphones?
Yeah, you can't really. Well, you could, but it would just be weird. Especially if they're like the big kind, like the muffs for noise canceling. And I'm making them bigger in this because this image feels kind of surreal and poppy to me. So I'm gonna just play with that. Oh no, he's a cheating with the shift click. What a bad boy. I'm guessing this is like a sci-fi leaf blower. I feel like though if it was a leaf blower in general, like, and if it was sci-fi, it would probably be a lot smaller for how much power it's generating, but that's okay. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Johnny is losing his mind.
You don't know where that's from? It's from the Lego movie.
I know that's. I like that from the Lego movie. Everybody knows. What are you trying to say here?
Trying to say I'm still here. It's gonna be okay, Frank.
Everything is awesome.
So you can see with just using like these darker values, I'm already making the silhouette pop a lot better off the light background. And then we're gonna have to find a way to like make this work. So what I'm actually gonna think I'm gonna do is, because I like it being kind of more in shadow, I'm actually gonna shadow the foreground where she's standing in and keep the background in the light so that she silhouettes off it. So she's gonna be completely in shadow. And we're gonna see how that goes. Russell's saying, careful where you point that loaded banana. It's only loaded if you want it to be, Russell. Neck in there. I like long necks. You know, they look cool. I'm gonna clean up the silhouette a little. Not anything too crazy. So yeah, notice the one thing I did in the beginning, because my environment wasn't super saturated, I'm not using super saturated colors. And you can use super saturated colors, but they're gonna feel out of place. So make sure that's what you want when you're actually creating the image. Yeah. Oops. Hey. Photoshop's being weird. How do you do this, Photoshop? So, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and throw some shadow here on the ground. I think it's going to be, if you look at this here, this is pretty desaturated. I want to make the shadow a bit cooler. So we're going to hue shift up to blue and then just go down. I'm not going to make it more saturated, just hue shifting. Oops. Thanks for the follow, Paradox. So, something that was bothering me about this was that she was blowing leaves that were just like randomly on the ground in the middle of like spring or summer, when you'd only really use a leaf blower in the autumn, because that's when like the leaves actually collect on the ground like that. So, you know, I'm trying to make it a little more interesting by changing up the color a bit. And we can throw a bit of reds in there too, because like hue shift stuff around. Bright enough there. Red's tricky sometimes because reds are really red's a really dark color. Like pure red is pretty dark in terms of value, so just be careful with that.
Amazing. I like how that curves back and lead energy back into the guy.
Yeah, I figured that was
And that,
kill two birds with one stone.
and that little circle, the line that goes like a S shape on the ground, is that actually tells me enough about the ground plane, how it recedes. It's just simple lines.
Yeah.
It needs to be in the right place. Looks good.
I almost feel like this would actually, you could make it like an album cover because it feels kind of surreal. Like if you had some like weird stuff going on in the background, like I don't know, it's nah. It's like if you had like flying swans or some shit, it wouldn't work so well. Yeah, also cropping this down a little. Actually, wait. Place it right there. Oops. Oh, they were actually okay. It's cool. All right. Got about 20 minutes or so left, so I'm gonna.
Pimp your class.
Should I what?
Pimp your class.
Pimp my class.
Pimp it.
How?
Be like, yo, did you guys know?
Yo, did you guys know?
That you're teaching this class at Talent Tree?
Yeah, so for anyone like who's local and is interested in like how I do the stuff I do, basically I do a course that covers all the important things like what I eat, how I wake up, what kind of movies I watch, what kind of clothes I wear, because really it's not actually, you know, about what you study, it's about, you know, how cool you look. That's what makes you an artist. So, you know, I'll teach you how to be cool by dressing cool and listening to cool music and sharing the dankest memes to really, you know, help you develop the skill set you want for drawing and painting. But so yeah, I guess as a lot of some of you know already, we run a local school in Toronto where we you know, teach stuff, and we recently got a few like really cool new instructors, Al Jarek and Justin Chan. But also me and Frank teach courses. Frank does the environment class, and I do a character design course, which is a lot of looking at just design language and shapes and geometry and seeing how that applies, like how fundamentals apply to design, so that you can actually problem solve things and not just be like, oh, I'm going to draw a character. You got to think about how, you know, solving problems for your clients, not just making them a cool drawing of a person and calling it a character. You got to be able to see like what it is they need, and then have the skill set to be able to be like, okay, they want this and this and this thing, and I can go through this workflow, and then through that process of elimination I can get something that's close to what they want, or at least they can be like, oh yeah, this is like, you know, the thing that's kind of what I need. I just want more of this and this and this. But basically, the stuff I go through in my course is pretty structurally based. Like it's a lot of drawing of geometry and boxes and stuff, and looking at how those things work in the world, and then like how they apply to design. So it's pretty homework intensive. It's not, you know, if you're looking for an easy course or a beginner course, it's not probably for you. It's a little more intermediate. But basically that's what I'm going to be doing at the Talent Tree location. We're still starting in early June, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So it should be good. But yeah. Yeah, that's going to be starting soon. That should be fun. The last one was really cool. I had some really like good students who made some really cool stuff. A few guys you've seen here, here and there. Lightning Cola took the class. Wow, why is this? Okay. A few other people that are in here sometimes, dude underscore. Although I might tweak some things of it slightly. A lot of it's gonna be just like, yeah, a lot of drawing, and applying drawing to design. But like, if you can draw like boxes in perspective, you can take the course, but it's not gonna be easy. I don't know. Kind of felt like if it's like a more surreal thing, it'd be pretty cool having smoke come out of the thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think? We don't do online classes yet. Are you asking how close we are to having online classes? I'm not sure at this point.
End of the year.
End of the year, maybe. We want to make sure we
Curriculums are good. We want to
Yeah.
make sure that we can actually help the students face to face, then take that same approach, same principle, refine it, bring it online.
Yeah. We're kind of taking it one step at a time right now. Also, don't want to have too many things going at once so that we start to neglect students. We want to make sure everyone's getting like proper attention. So for now, it's just going to be in house, and then end of the year we should have some online stuff running, which should be fun.
We're getting a lot of demand for online, actually. People are emailing me about that.
Yeah, well, because not everyone lives in Toronto.
Yeah. It would be nice if you're all here,
Hopefully I know some people that aren't local are going to be coming for Edge Control, which is cool.
Basically the biggest party
Biggest party in Toronto, yeah,
in the East Coast.
exactly.
Wow, that's smoke. Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
Try to keep it within the palette too, so I just went darker on this pink value in the background. That's one way you guys, the thing with color, you can pick limited palettes and then you can just go darker and lighter and have that value overlap and make it work.
Dude, give it a directional light.
You want some directional light in there, but there wasn't supposed to be any.
Well, look at the original. The light's coming
Yeah,
from
that's why
the
I
right.
changed it.
So you don't like that?
I want to make the silhouette read and just use local value, because I would go and put light, but I would probably paint in an ambient pass.
What's
but
an ambient
basic,
pass?
Well, just
Oh,
ambient
the
occlusion,
ambient occlusion
or
pass.
I like the soft top down light. But basically, what I wanted to do with this is just show you guys how much you can say with just simple value and overlap. If you can get it to look good like this, you obviously, like, some parts of the rendering process have to be done right, but you're going to solve a lot of problems by getting it look good in the early stages.
Johnny
when you
likes
take
those.
it further.
Johnny likes those thick thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if she's like, working outside a lot, there's probably going to be a little muscle there. Russell's still thinking about going. Yeah, you don't have a choice, Russell. What are you talking about? What do you think this is? Thanks for the
Democracy?
follow, Youssef, and thanks for the follow, Giant Wood. What a good name.
Oh, Giant Wood.
Just make sure you can live up to the hype. All I'm saying. Don't want to promise too much. Wink. All right. I think that pretty much covers it for the crit. I could go into doing a ambient pass, but that's gonna take some time. Maybe a bit later I'll go in and do it, because I actually kind of like how this piece is going. So I might go and do a pass on it, and then send it back to you, Tony. But we'll see. I don't know. But yeah.
Wait, this one from Tony Lowe?
Huh?
Tony who?
Tony somebody, maybe. Let me see. It's I credited a piece of his before.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
A couple.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Dampus tuba. Yeah, Edge Control is gonna be fucking lit. Oh yeah, just a reminder for you guys. This Saturday, I think at 4 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken, me and Denzel Zabi are gonna be hosting. Well, I'm gonna be doing a stream, an Edge Control stream with Evan Mill and Munson, with Denzel and Zabi as well, and that's gonna be this Saturday. So if you guys are down for that, for some Tolkien talk, you know, and some sword play, we'll should definitely come by. I'll link the Facebook page because they post updates every time something comes up. So definitely like follow their page, to make sure you don't like miss out on the stuff. Because that's it's gonna be really fun, and I'll link the Twitch as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure with me and Evan in the same stream, there's gonna be a little bit of sword talk. You know, like there's not gonna be none. I don't think we'll have a debate. I just think we'll probably briefly mention some things.
It's your stream. You get to do what you want.
Well, yeah, but we're mostly gonna probably talk about Evan and stuff, and what he's up to. His Kickstarter is actually doing really, really well. If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out for the book he's doing. It's already like been like 3 times the amount of the funding that's needed, but you know, you should get on that because it's pretty sick. He's got like this whole world that he created from a year of doing drawings and sketchings that he's put into a book now, which looks really, really good. So check that out. But yeah, I think we're gonna head out now because not really much else to cover tonight. The IP stuff that I did today, I'm gonna start doing one of those, one of the Twitch streams every month, because we do, you know, I do 4 a month and Frank does 4. One of them, so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, and every fourth Twitch stream is gonna be IP stuff like this. So I'll probably do some character inspiration sketches or character thumbnail breakdowns. I might even do some thumbnail compositions for illustrations of characters, mood paintings, and probably storyboards. But I don't know if I want to show you guys storyboards yet. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see you guys Tuesday. It's been great. Yeah, Talenty Stream. I'm Johnny Hall. Frank Hong here.
Peace.
We'll see you guys Tuesday. Take care.